Stock Master of Wine, and I am tasting today a Red Mountain Cabernet Sauvignon. This is from the Clipson Vineyard in Red Mountain. Red Mountain is an AVA in Washington's Columbia Valley, state of Washington. Most of its vineyard area and growing regions are situated in the larger Columbia Valley AVA. This is a growing region that is east of the Cascade Mountains, means that it doesn't get a lot of rainfall coming in from the Pacific Ocean weather. What it gets is about 300 sunny days a year and a lot of sun and a lot of wind and really beautiful bright fruit flavors. The Red Mountain AVA is actually the hottest AVA in the Columbia Valley and the hottest AVA in Washington State, and that means it's ideally suited to the Bordeaux varieties and those wines and grape varieties that have thicker skins and need a little bit more heat and sunshine and ripeness to get through the growing season to full ripeness. The other unique feature of the Red Mountain AVA is that it is also the windiest AVA. What wind does to grape berries and clusters while it's growing on the vine during the growing season is that the wind has a thickening effect on the skin. It also stunts the berry development, and so you have very tiny berries, not like your regular grapes that you see, in the fruit department of your local Whole Foods. You have berries that are more marbles in size and thick skins, which gives really high concentrated juice, fruit juice in the grape, and also high concentration of both tannins, which come from the skins of the grapes, and acidity in the wine. Those three factors are a perfect combination for making wines that are very long-lived, very structured, and have the ability to age for several years, often for several decades. These wines are made by winemakers intentionally to age in bottle for 10, 20, 30 years. That means during their winemaking process and picking decisions in the vineyard, they're being very intentional about how they're working the skins, working the cap, and extracting tannins to build a wine that is going to be structured, that is going to support the ripe, dark fruit flavors that are in the wine and really be able to go the distance in the cellar. Typically, these wines are also aged in French oak barrels for 2, sometimes 3 years to allow those tannins, which are very structured and can often be quite austere and severe in their youth. They allow the tannins to resolve in barrel and are digested a little bit by that slow integration of oxygen into the barrel and the aging process. Now, this wine is a 2022 vintage. We're in 2025 at the moment. I can still see on the nose of this that the oak is very present, which tells me that this wine has really been made to put away in the cellar for a little bit longer. There are a lot of people who like to drink wines that have that vibrancy and power of fruit and oak right up front, and that's great, but you generally need to have some pretty, sturdy food to go along with those tannins and the flavor profiles for those styles of wine. This wine is going to drink well now until, I would say, the next 15, 20 years. The fruit flavors on this are dark berries. There's some tea. There's a little bit of raspberry and black currant leaf. There's cassis. There's mocha and clove and leather notes. Yeah, this wine is a baby. It is very concentrated. The palate is very wound up and very tight. It is structured. So this wine is going to reward you with cellaring. If I'm going to drink this wine now, what I'm going to do is decant it probably twice. So pour it into a big decanter twice, really let it aerate because it needs some oxygen to open up and let that oak subside and the tannin subside, and really let the fruit come to the forefront if I'm going to drink it within the next year or two. I would be putting away this in my cellar for a couple of years yet, and it's really going to reward your patience by letting the fruit and the oak and the tannins really harmonize and come together a little more and reward your patience in putting it away in the cellar. It's a beautiful wine from a great vintage in Washington, the 2022 Clipson Cabernet Sauvignon from Red Mountain AVA. Cheers.